Hey everyone, it's WHM Brickwiz back to another video, and today we are going to be doing something a little different. So, you guys may have jumped on here expecting another mini mock for Wednesday if you are subscribed. If not, please hit that subscribe button below and tap the like icon if you like this video. But basically, I usually do a mini mock, as anybody who has been on the channel for the last couple of months knows. But what I'm gonna do now is I'm actually gonna switch over and do something a little different for the next coming Wednesdays. I've been kind of getting sick of the mini mocks, and not necessarily, I guess, getting sick of it, but I'm running out of ideas. And so I thought, why not, let's try to build maybe something else. So what I'm actually going to do here is we're going to start a mock. So this is episode 1 of building basically Mos Eisley, or a battle on Mos Eisley. So this is not, this battle that we're going to be doing here, it was never actually, it never actually existed, but I thought it'd be a logical, kind of idea, because the droids, it's going to be between the Republic and the Confederacy, which is basically the droids and the clones. And I thought, well, it would make sense if this is Tatooine. Well, the droids controlled a lot of the outer rim planets, and this is one that's just kind of way out of the way of everything. So I really like this idea, and I was actually originally going to do it with Imperials, but then I realized it was going to be too hard for me to work with that, just based on the troops that I have. I have a ton of snow troopers, but I really haven't gotten many stormtroopers over the years, so that just wasn't working. I only have maybe 5 or something, 3 or 5, I'm not sure. But, it just wasn't working, so I actually have to transition, and this is, kind of a plan of the mock I'm gonna do. So, I did show you, I think maybe, December or so, a mock that I did of Mos Eisley, including the Cantina. That is all gonna be destroyed and gonna be turned into this. And what is this? Well, it's kind of a battle, or a rescue mission, by the Republic Forces. So, basically, basic storyline, these are the troops of the CSI, or the droids. These are the Droids Troops. So you've got a tank here. I'll get into the vehicles a little bit more later. You've got a tank. They're ATT, Armored Terrain Tank, I'm pretty sure. Or All-Terrain Tank. One of those. That is right here. And then you've got, I'm not sure how many droids I'm gonna have, but a battalion of droids marching out here, in their perfect lines, because they're always like that. And then over here, you're gonna have the clones, which I don't think are gonna be in this perfect line right now. What they're gonna be doing is, back here, there's gonna be a bunch of civilians who are trying to escape. These are kind of another patrol, and they saw these civilians, and now they're trying to take them in because they realized that they were helping someone like an important person who's been a spy for the Republic or something. So that's kind of my idea, and so they're trying to escape, and the Republic has come in on this rescue mission, and this square is actually my ATT, and I'll get into that vehicle later, and that'll be included in this mock. I'm really happy to include that. I've made a lot of progress on that since I last showed it to you. It's been a ton of fun working on that, and I really have been wanting to put it in a mock. So that's really cool. So that's kind of the story. Then there'll be a speeder here. There'll be a bark speeder that I've really been working on. I took kind of a design from, I think it's Beyond the Brick. Yeah, and then modified it a bit to work with what I had, and I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I think it looks really good. It's accurate, and I'll show that to you later. I'll also have a probe droid probably sitting on the roof up here or something. That's how they found these guys. And then I'll have Anakin Starfighter over here with Anakin like just jumping out, just arriving. He's going to be helping the clones. Then Rex will be leading the front. We'll also include Kix and some of the other clones with that. And that's going to be that kind of for the storyline. And then right here is my idea. It's kind of like a walk-in like bar kind of thing. So like there'll be all like the kind of accoutrements that are in the Mos Eisley Cantina back here. And then it'll kind of curve around like it does. And people can just come up and get a drink or something. And maybe I'll have some tables here with some columns. And then also on this side, these will just be tons of little shops, like buildings. That's my kind of idea. Just kind of like a Mos Eisley, average Mos Eisley street. So there'll be tons of just junk everywhere, kind of. Maybe the clones will have thrown down some barricades. And then right here is going to be like a water cellar. I love this idea. On Tatooine that there are water cellars. They came in the Book of Boba Fett. Spoiler alert, I guess. And the guy was like asking Boba Fett about telling him that his water had been stolen, and I like this idea. And then later on, a tank of water just gets destroyed, and I find that very funny because, you know, like water is very precious, obviously, in Tatooine. It used to be completely water, but now it's not. So I'm thinking that the tank destroyed one of these tanks of water that's on the top of this roof, and then there's going to be a guy down here getting really mad at them and maybe fighting back, ripping a few droids apart or something. I thought that would be cool to include. This will actually be a landing platform where this is, and you'll probably see R2-D2 here, and you'll also probably see another small building here. This will just kind of fade into the sand. This over here is going to be more of like a Republic base kind of section, but not really, because, you know, they didn't really have a base on Tatooine. Right here is going to be kind of a destroyed storefront here. I'm thinking that this kind of blasted away part of it. And then back here, you'll notice that there's these 4 dots. That's going to be Delta Squad, or not Delta Squad. I think it's Delta Squad, maybe. Squad 42, Delta Squad. And that's going to be these clones, these commandos that I have been using in some of my MOCs. I just love these guys so much. I was really happy to include them like as kind of scouts, and they're going to come around, sneak around back, and kind of basically try to take down this tank. So that's kind of the overall storyline of this, and I'm really happy. These guys, the Republic is really here to like protect the civilians, and they're not so much trying to take back this planet. But in the long run, maybe that will be what happens, because obviously there's an ATTE here, so that is really cool to have, like, be able to use that and use a lot of these vehicles that I've made improvements to, like, over this last 6 months on the channel. So that's really cool. So now I'm just gonna show you all the vehicles I plan to use. So let's get straight into it. Okay, so this is the first vehicle I am going to use, and obviously this maybe looks a lot different than when you last saw it. It is a lot better, and it looks just so nice. I really am really happy with the way it turned out. This took so many mods and improvements. I literally just completely added a ton of Technic to this bottom part here. Oh, and this leg. The legs are still the same, because I think the design just works. And I think it looks decent. It's not, you know, the greatest. And then up here you've got the turret. And I'm actually going to get a custom gunner. I'm going to decal a gunner for that 501st gunner. But I am going to just have regular 501st guys in here, because honestly, I've never seen a Phase 2 pilot inside these. And that is something that's very interesting to me. It's also got a full interior now. As you may have noticed last time, I think I was able to fit troops in there, but that just didn't look so good. So I've now got a full interior where I'm pretty sure I can fit like 15 troops, which is pretty cool. I'm not going to actually really have many in here because, you know, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. And then this whole back part is a lot better. I do have cannons for this. I'm really not sure where they went. They literally fall off all the time and they disappear. So that's really our first vehicle. I'm really excited to use this in this MOC. I spent so much time working on this, and I've finally been able to like actually get it into a mock. Our next vehicle, and this is also on the Republic side, is this Bark Speeder. This is a modified Beyond the Brick Bark Speeder. So Beyond the Brick makes some like really cool stuff, and I decided to make my own version of their Bark Speeder. So I took a lot of like techniques from them, and they actually don't make one in gray, which I was like really surprised. They only make it in white. I like the gray. I like the way it looks. It fits with the ATTE. And I basically just recolored it and reworked it because I didn't, I didn't really know how they built a lot of it, so I reworked it, and I'm really happy with the way this turned out. I really like it, and I'm actually going to add some blasters up here, and it's all going to look really nice. So I'm really happy that I get to use this. This one will probably be turning a little bit or something. We will see. I'm not really sure at the moment, but that will definitely be included. It will be more kind of like a scout. And then the next vehicle we're going to get into is another Republic vehicle. And this is Anakin Starfighter. So what I've actually done here is I've propped it up with some clear pieces. Those will probably go away. Maybe I'll keep them and I'll have Anakin like jumping out of the cockpit or something. But I'm really excited. As you know, I redid this based on a design that I found, or that someone used, and then I modified that too. I did a whole video on that earlier, so I can link that in the bottom. In the description of this video, so you can go check that out if you're interested in that video. And I'm really happy with it. So there are some pieces that I actually did take to do some other things that I need to add back on, I'm now realizing, but I'm really like the way this turned out, and I'll get that landing gear back on, which for whatever reason came off, and there's some pieces that are missing here too. So, I'll fix this guy up. Maybe we'll do a video maybe next week where we just kind of fix everything up, get it in the shape that it needs to be in. But that's really cool that I'm using that. Now let's get into the CSI forces, or the Droid Forces, the Separatist Forces, whatever you want to call them. This is the AAT. This is the Armored Assault Tank that the droids use, and this is kind of Legos, but I have modified it. I was hoping I could actually extend this, but I don't really have the pieces to do that. I have made this cockpit kind of area smaller, along with this cannon up here smaller, and I think it looks really good. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. You still can fit a droid up here. I'll probably have this up with the I think it's a tame droid. It may be just like a swarm, like a specialized droid. But I'll have that guy probably like that in the mock. He'll be ordering them to fire, and then you also have this lower part. I did make a lot of mods to this that I actually still haven't gotten to do on camera. There's also a whole mod section back there where you can actually store droids. That won't be in use here, but it is part of this. I am hoping to get a video out about this, and I might even like do a whole video as part of like the weekly thing with this. But we will see. I mean, it may just have to wait a video about this. I may actually be able to get pieces in so I can extend this, but we shall see. So that about wraps up all the big like vehicles I'm going to use in this, but I do have one more small vehicle kind of that I was thinking I'd throw in, and that is this little probe droid. The Separatists had probes, and they kind of started the trend that the Imperials. So the Separatists and the Republic both fed into like what the Imperials had. The Imperials had stormtroopers, those fed off the clone troopers. The Imperials had probe droids, those fed off the Separatist probe droids. And I guess the Republic did have probes, but they were not like this. So I just thought, why not just use one of the probe droids I got in the ATST, I believe, yes. The new ATST that came out recently. And I think this would be really cool to use, because I do know that for a fact that they did use dark bluish gray. probe droids and not black, so that is cool. That actually I'm able to use this, because otherwise I'd have to recolor it. I'm not really sure why LEGO made theirs in dark bluish gray, but I really like the way it looks, and I'm really happy that I'm going to be able to use that in this MOC. Okay, so that just about wraps up week 1 of building Mos Eisley Republic versus Separatists. I'm really happy with this idea, and I'm really excited to get started on this. I know this was just kind of like a planning week, and kind of like showing you what I plan to use, but I am waiting on some base plates that I ordered. Those should come in really soon. I ordered them from Amazon, so they should come in the next couple of days. I'm really excited to get working on this. Once I get those in, I'm going to destroy Mos Eisley. I should maybe have a time lapse of this. I'm debating whether to sort the pieces out or just have them in a giant pile and work from that. I kind of want to sort them because it's just going to be so much easier. But that's going to take time. And so that's why maybe next week you may just get me sorting all the pieces out. But we'll see. I'm really excited about this, so I gotta order some like decals and some figures for decaling. That should all actually happen later, much later in this video, because it's just gonna take time for those things to arrive. These are kind of all the vehicles I plan to use. I may add maybe 1 or 2 more, but it's gonna be really hard. If I end up realizing I have tons of space and I can add more vehicles in, I will. But I'm not sure that I do at the moment. Like, I feel like it's going to be much more, it's not going to be big enough, especially using this. Like, with the ATST original plan that I was going to do, I actually made a whole design of how to modify the ATST that I actually might make to make it look like a regular ATST, more or less. That was my original idea. I dropped that because I realized there's no way I was going to get enough Scout Troopers, Stormtroopers in, and I have so many clones that it's just crazy. You don't really know how many clones I have. I have lots of clones, and I don't have any Imperials. So this is what I came up with, and I have some droids, and it's really, actually, I found a really easy way to get a bunch more droids for this, but this is what I've come up with, and I'm really excited to get started. So those base plates should come in. I'll get started. I'll do my best to get a video out next week, but it may not be the most interesting video because I really would like to make this building process as easy as possible and not have to make myself like dig through a giant bin of pieces. So that's something that I'm considering doing, but I'm really excited, and if you liked this video at all, please subscribe. I know it may have not been the most interesting video, but this MOC is going to be so much fun to work on, and I know you guys are going to love it. So hit that subscribe button, tap the bell icon for notifications, and then hit the like button if you like this video. That's just about wrap it up for this video. Look forward to any other Star Wars content or Fenway MOC updates on Sundays and Fridays. Look forward to that. If you do hit that subscribe button, just know this is a Star Wars channel, but I do have a Fenway Park building process special going on every Sunday. But that's going to be about it. This is WHM Brickworth signing off. I'll see you all guys next time. Goodbye.